Hi, this is TapCat, and today I want to talk about Civilization 6, and more specifically the art style for the game. Now, I want to say up front that the purpose of this video is not to tell you whether you should like the art or dislike the art or anything else like that. I figure you can make up your own mind. What we are going to do is talk about some comments made by the lead art designer and show you what we have so far, which is very little. And then I will talk a little bit about my first impressions, but that's really just an FYI, and everybody is more than free to make up their own mind. So let's start. I'm going to go ahead and start showing the individual screenshots we have. There's just 3 screenshots that they've released. That's it. No in-game footage so far, so we're not getting any of this kind of in context. So the art director for the game is Brian Busotti, and one of the things that he said in an interview with IGN is that they found that a lot of players approach the game where they're zoomed out most of the time because they want to get a good view of what's going on. So it's not that they never zoom in, but that's not where they spend most of their time. So what they wanted was an art style that would look just as good from far away as it does up close. And also that when you're zoomed out, you can see what's what. You can recognize what the individual units are. So one of the examples he gave of that is that a warrior, will be bigger and they'll have a thicker silhouette. And then, an archer might be leaner and that kind of thing. Now, they did also say that when you do zoom in, there'll be more detail there than you've seen in the past. And they're also going to give the units little touches. So like in addition to the unique units, so for example, a Japanese samurai will look distinctively Japanese, just as they do now. But they'll also make some of the vanilla units, if not all of the vanilla units, have little touches to make them more culturally unique. And they've also set it up so that modders can take that even farther. Another element of the art design that he talked about is the user interface. And they're using, for the Fog of War, a map instead of clouds. So the idea is it would be this kind of parchment map. And in the areas that you've not explored at all yet, it'll be like a blank parchment with some longitude and latitude lines on it. And then the areas that you are getting close to and you've partially revealed, it'll look like a pen and ink drawing. Really curious to see what that'll look like. So anyway, the overall theme is, he refers to it as the age of exploration, like the Christopher Columbus era. And you'll see little things like, compasses and astrolabes and stuff like that. So again, since we have no examples of this at all, it's very difficult to kind of conjure up what that will look like next to the actual rendering of the game, right? So we'll see. The other thing that he also pointed out is that one of the popular things from Civilization 4 is that they had these little movies that they did when you finished a wonder. That was a little bit like a time-lapse photography of you building the wonder. And so now they're bringing that back, but instead of being pre-rendered movies, it's somehow going to be done in-game. And actually, I think it'll probably be more like a true time-lapse photography of what you would see if you just literally watched your wonder being built at a tight zoom. But again, we have no footage of this. That's going to be the constant theme, in case you're curious. We have no footage of anything. So, okay. Now I've shown you the screenshots. I'm cycling through them, and the one other thing that I wanted to do is kind of put what he said to the test. So he claims it's made to look good when you zoomed out. So I wanted to focus on one of these images and say, okay, here's what it looks like at this level of zoom. And then if I pull back out, what does it look like now? And the problem is, it's very difficult to know how far back you could come. And the other thing I don't like is that I couldn't see more of the map. I'm just making the one piece smaller. So then that made it look really small on the screen, right? And this isn't what it would look like if I were really doing it. This small piece might be, but it's not really the same as seeing the whole thing. So overall, I think it's okay, but I don't know. I don't really get a lot from it. I probably prefer this shot, which is a tighter zoom. And I definitely think that when you compare this to the kind of baseline level, the original screenshot, it zooms in very nicely. Like you can see a pretty decent level of detail and all that. Now, if you don't like the art style, you don't like the art style, and going in closer is not going to improve that. So that's what it is. That's what we have so far. Now, what do I think of this? Honestly, I just need to see more. I can't really, in my head, stitch together this with the idea of that parchment map, and I think it's one thing to look at a couple of static images, and it's a very different thing to actually see it in motion. Civilization has never had anything remotely resembling photorealistic graphics. I don't know that I would go so far as to call Civ 5 cartoonish, but it isn't anything I would consider to be especially realistic either. Does this move more in that direction, like more away from realistic? Yeah, I think it does. But I guess at this point for me, I'm neither up in arms nor celebrating. I need to see more. I need to see the game being played and all of the pieces together. And then I'll either like it or I won't. And the same goes for everybody else. Again, like I said before, I'm not here to tell you what to like or what not to like. But I thought I would show you what we've got. I would share the designer's intent and break it down a little bit. And that's it. That's for you to decide from here. All right. Well, as they release more information about the game and more visuals, I will certainly try to revisit this. If you found this video interesting or helpful, I hope you'll consider giving it a like and or sharing it, because it'll definitely help other people find it. And if you're interested in more Civilization 5 videos, I recommend you subscribe to the channel, because I intend to make quite a few. Any news that's interesting that comes out before the game's release, and I'll definitely be doing content on it when it comes out as well. All right, thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.